Irredeemable characters in fiction. That is what we are going to be talking about today, okay? And partly the reason that I'm making this video is I've officially gotten to the Eclipse part of the Berserk manga. And yes, I know, Berserk video, where's the Berserk video tier list, boy? Where's the Doom Lore video tier list, boy? I'm gonna be real, it does kind of make me feel good that, like, y'all came up with a nickname for me. But I don't like that it's tier list, boy, but I do feed into it. So, no, okay, sorry, I'm rambling. But, I just got through the Eclipse, in the Berserk, and I'm gonna be real, I'm like partly a little, just a smidgen depressed. I knew what I was getting into, but there's some added scenes in the manga. Like, dude, I just had a 1,000-yard stare like I was like a ginger stepchild of somebody that his favorite... Bro, I can't even make a joke right now. I'm that kerfluffled right now. Okay, that's how I feel. And then I started thinking to myself, Griffith might be the most irredeemable character in fiction. Like, I don't know how you come back from that. Like, what? You did what now? That's my reaction to that, okay? And then I started thinking, like, Griffith is worse than Joffery. Like, he is. Like, no, he is. Like, at the end of the day, Joffrey's just a kid, really. That, like, that should have that should have been his daddy right there. Like, that should have been more. I'm sorry I got to throw that in right now. But ultimately, Joffrey could have been redeemed. And then I started thinking about the Judds from Blood Meridian and thinking, no, maybe Judds is a bit worse. I don't know. And then I started going deeper and deeper and deeper, okay? No diddy. And then I started making up this video in my head. Who are the most irredeemable characters in fiction, okay? And yes, Griffith was the reason why I'm making this. The Eclipse from Berserk is literally the reason why I'm making this video. And in this video, we're going to be covering everybody. From Joffrey Baratheon, the Judds from Blood Meridian, Griffith from Berserk, and, to throw in some gaming guys, Dutch Vanderlyn from RDR 2. I'm so hyped. I'm hyped, bro. I'm sorry, man. It's very rare that, like, I literally read The Eclipse and then immediately went to filming because I needed to get this off my chest, bro. That's it. I'm still sweating because it's like 85 degrees right now. Missing its superiority, but oh my gosh, is it hot. Okay, I'm sorry I'm rambling for a long time, okay? We're going to be talking about the most irredeemable characters in fiction. If that sounds good to you, please consider like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 250,000 subscribers before the end of the year. 500,000 subscribers, the big old 500,000 before the release of GTA 6, and we are on track with the support of you guys. We're actually kind of on a tear right now. You guys really like the 6 videos a week, and I know some people are worried about me getting burnt out, and I'm over here like, bro, I just rant. I'm literally physically hot, but I'm not like... I'm pretty good looking too. I'm going on a rant and say, but no, I'm feeling pretty doggone good right now, and we're gonna be talking about irredeemable characters in fiction, and I'm hyped. And with all that out of the way, let's get into the video right now. Joffrey Baratheon. Yeah, bro, don't get me wrong, Joffrey 100% deserves to get a little bit of that elbow cut, bro. Cut his forehead up like Fruit Ninja with these things, man. Like 100%. I'm gonna tune him up. I'm gonna be real here. Joffrey is what I fear my child might become. Let's get crazy, bro. Let's get delusional. Let's feel this right now. Let's say you are absurdly wealthy, like hilariously, absurdly like greed that you only hear from the Bible, okay? Like that level of wealthy, okay? Let's say we're both that. And we raise a son. If my son... Man, that's gonna keep on bothering me, but I'm going through. But, if your son starts turning out like Joffrey Baratheon, what do you do? Like, what do you do? Like, understand this. I think some people take it too far and they want to say some stuff like, well, yeah, that's why you gotta bully him. Like, no, I don't think you gotta bully him. I don't think... I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. Trauma makes a good person. But trauma also breaks people. It's the systematic breaking down of one's psyche to the point where it defines them as a person. Trauma can make somebody good, but it can also make somebody broken. And it's striking that line. You as like... I know I'm speaking out of my... I'm not out of my wheelhouse right now. But like, I feel like... It is your job, if you're like the parent in that, to be like the block for your child, but also make sure they get the right lessons out of certain things that are going to happen in your life. I'm sorry, everyone's been bullied. That's the truth. Except for Joffrey. Joffrey, the incest child Baratheon Lannister, dude. This kid just needed to be bullied. I think with a whole heaping ton of humbling, and I'm talking like, give Joffrey Baratheon the reek treatment. We cut off his fingertips, his toe tips, his other tip, and then we kind of like I don't know, rename him Reek, I think he could have become a decent human being. I really do, bro. And I think for that reason, I'm going to put him in. He just got to receive a ton of humbling, and you can be redeemed. Maybe. Maybe. I mean, I'm still pussing it, but maybe. The Judds from Blood Meridian. When I tell you, Cormac McCarthy, okay, Cormac McCarthy is a pretty famous author. If you guys never heard of him, of course, I think you guys have. No Country for Old Men, Blood Meridian, and The Road. I think No Country for Old Men is one of my all-time favorite movies. I love that movie. And the way that Cormac McCarthy writes evil is so good, bro. It's so good. And I look at, like, Anton Chigurh is, like, he believes himself to be an agent of death. He doesn't believe the taking of life as something that is inherently wrong. It's merely carrying out a duty. And that fate is what ordered your death. I am merely the taker of it. When we're looking at the Judds, you know that quote that people will just say, and it's like, here's one. Anything that exists, any life that exists without my knowledge does so exist without my consent. That is his quote, and that is probably one of the best ways that you can define the Judds. And I know he's based off a real person, however, the based off the real person is very, very loose. And the basic gist of it is, like, I mistakenly described him as evil Dutz Vanderland. No, Judds is way worse. Way worse. We'll cover Dutz in a second, but when I'm looking at the Judds from Blood Meridian, I mean, like, you name it, bro. He's just doing evil shit, either for, like, aura, or just because he wanted to. Name it. He probably did it. He did something with, like, a 9-year-old. There was something with a pig that he did. He hoisted up a cannon and started shooting it. Like, it was some wild shit. It was wild, bro. I know, like, describing the Judds from Blood Meridian, like, he's just evil. He's just evil for the sake of being evil. Like, to give you an idea, bro, the entire gang within Blood Meridian are just objectively bad people. Literally everybody's bad, okay? The main character did some horrific shit, but he's like, you can understand his situation more. The Judds is somehow so evil that they just let him around because they're scared what's gonna happen if he, like, gets angry. Like, no, he's just... There's no redemption for this guy. Like, there just isn't. Like, if you want to go over, it's like, I mean, like, dude, name it. He probably did. Actually name a crime. He probably committed it because he was curious how it was going to make him feel. Like, if we want to talk about the best way to characterize him, he is the characterization of evil in man. Okay? Like, like, some people would say, like, he's heavily based off literally the devil from Paradise Lost, which is a rough read, by the way. What's basically the entirety of Paradise Lost is essentially the entire Bible, roughly, but from the devil's point of view. It's actually where we get a lot of, like, thought experiments, like, the reason the devil dislikes humanity is because he's jealous of us. And it's like, maybe, I mean, I'm not really interested to have this moral debate, but it's fun, I guess. But that is what the Judds is roughly based on when he was being written. And I think a better, like, describing him as the devil is not the best way to describe him. I like the way to describe the Judds is, like, his character is very simply, like, the personification of if humanity did not have a moral compass and instead was a species of desire. Whatever he wants to do, he will do because good men allow him to do it. And I think that's my favorite part of it, is he has, like, a whole speech with the main character saying that the reason that I can do whatever I want and I will live forever, like, the impulses of evil men will live forever, is because good men like you will refuse to stop me. And I think that's such a good ending to the book because of what it's trying to capture. Because somebody can be bad and then become good. But are you really good if you allow bad people to do bad things? I love that. Like, the thing that allows evil things to be done is the inaction of good men. And I think that that is a good way to describe Judge Holden. Yeah, we're going to have some character studies here and there. I'm sorry, yeah. I can get deep every once in a while. I'm going to put the Judge, there's no redemption. No redemption. Now, I don't think, number one is I hope it hurts, but for Judge, he's a dog. When I mean by dog, I don't mean it in like a woo woo. No, I mean like he's just an animal. Put him down like an animal. Make it quick. Not because of mercy, but because I don't want to waste any more time. I like 100%. Listen, let anything divine decide what happens with him later on. He cannot be on this earth with us. That's what I gotta say, bro. No redemption, no question. Reverse Flash. Literally, I was gonna make a video, pettiest people in fiction, okay? And I know history videos are coming. I plan on a good history video next week. Don't worry, they're coming. Fiction's just been hitting lately because we have a lot of good stuff to watch, okay? Reverse Flash is easily the most petty, one of the pettiest people in fiction. Bro is so pissed off that the Flash was the Flash before him that he dedicated his entire life to be the villain of the Flash. Name it, bro. He did it. This man is so petty that he would go back in time, steal the left shoe of the Flash just to make him feel crazy, because who only steals one shoe? I wouldn't even be surprised if that's something that he actually did. That keeps on flashing me in the eye, but at this point, I'm already dedicated. You guys can just laugh at it every single time I do this, bro. This is the level. I'm actually going to work this in. The Reverse Flash is so petty. If I'm the Flash right now, he would have done that with the paint just so it would get in my eye. Just to know you had the minor inconvenience of just being slightly annoyed. He likes that that's him. In terms of being redeemed, there's almost a charm to it, but in the same charm of, like, the Homelander. Is he, like, no redemption, hope it hurts? No, bro, he's just annoying and evil. I think if he gave up his life to do something good, then I think he could be redeemed. Like a life sacrifice, probably. If the judge sacrificed his life, I would just feel dirty that I was allowed to live. I'd be like, ugh. I have to thank him? Brother, no. Life sacrifice for Reverse Flash, then we can have that conversation. Griffith from Berserk. Yeah, now, where do I start? Okay, now when we talk about the morality of Griffith, and I will have a full case study for Griffith eventually come out when I get a little bit more into it, but what I really like about Griffith is I think he is one of my favorite personifications of somebody that has all of the ambition in the world, but none of the morality to guide it. This is a man with literal infinite ambition that could not be bothered with morality. Okay? This is a man who, through just his aura alone, he was able to assemble a group of people called the Band of the Hawk that were willing to not only live, fight, and die in his name, but damn! See, Reverse Flash would probably do that, bro. I just choked on my own saliva. Listen, Reverse Flash was so petty, he probably came up in super speed, fingered my mouth, and then doom. Wow, where are we going with this? Anyways, when we're talking about Griffith had all of that, inspired love in those that were around him. But he treasured their love not because he reciprocated, but because it meant that he could achieve his goal. Everything that Griffith has ever done, he did not do for the selfless nature of it, aside from a couple things. And we'll cover that in a second. But it was done so he could further his goal of becoming king, even though he was born lowborn. He doesn't love fighting. He does so because it's needed for his goal. He studied literature because a king has to be studied well in literature. He studied trade logistics because they need to understand that. Everything that a king would need to know, he learned for the sake of it. He doesn't love any of this. He merely loves that he will someday maybe achieve his goal. And that is his whole ambition in life. And then he goes more and talks about ambition. He talks about ambition as a man having a flame. Like, imagine if every person's soul is one ember, and these embers come from a grand bonfire that is a man's dream. Does the bonfire concern himself with the embers that fly away from him and burn out? No, he does not. They came from him, therefore they belong to him. He views his men as just little bits of flame of their soul that are attributed to him and are his to use to achieve his goal, because I'm the one giving them a purpose through my purpose. In that way, I am their God. I am the one that gave them their purpose. And I think it's so well written in how they did that. I really like, listen, I'm gussing over. I love Berserk, bro. Berserk's so good. I think Griffith is a very well-written character. And then when we're getting into the people that he cared about, when I talked about, like, the one selfless thing that he did, it was save Gus. There was no tactical advantage to almost dying for somebody, that being Guts, okay? But it's because he cared for him. Now, I think he cared for Casca, but he cared for Casca Now, this is where you're getting spoilers. I think he cared for Casca, not because of anything, like, wired into him. Like, I think that's the only woman that he had interest in beyond ambition. But it's because Casca was more connected to Gut. Like, Griffith was attracted to Casca because Casca loved Guts more than she loved Griffith. And that wasn't until the very end. And I think that's part of the reason he was as evil as he was to those two characters. Because he blames Guts for the loss of his ambition and the loss of his dream, the death of his dream effectively killing him as a man. He blames Guts for that. He blames Casca because Casca, in his mind, when he would rather have Guts over him, that is not just a betrayal of his love, that's a betrayal to him because he views himself as her god. It's something like that. It's such a high level of narcissism that he views himself as that. How dare you not accept me? How dare you disobey me? How dare you leave me? You forfeit your life for this. And I think that's how Griffith sees things. Okay, I'm saying all of this not in like a redeeming way. No, unbelievably unredeemable. And not just unredeemable, it's not, I hope it hurts, dog. I'll be real, dog. I hope this hurts for you, dude. There's no level. It's not like a Homelander or a Joker situation where you can argue like insanity. No, Griffith understands literally everything that he's doing, and he's specifically making it hurt as much as possible because he wants to do that. The only thing that he effectively takes some level of pleasure in is dissing out his form of justice to those that have wronged him. And when I mean by wrong, I mean like, they're not even getting wronged, okay? Like, no, like, Griffith put down literally everybody who went over to save him. That's how evil he is, okay? Hope it hurts, no question. Homelander. Okay, when we're talking about Homelander, dog, here's the thing. Homehlander is effectively just an infantilized human. No, not even an infant. No, that's not the word I'm saying. He is a sociopath, a psychopath that's trapped in the frame of a 5-year-old. Okay, this is I like how they played this out. I like that Homelander is effectively like a forever psychopath that's trapped in a 5-year-old's mind state, and that it's very simply to him, but I'm the strongest. I'm special. I should lead them because I'm the most powerful of them. It's a very 5-year-old childlike look at things. And here's the truth. I can have more remorse for that than I can for Griffith and I can for Judge. Now, I'll be real here. At this point, is there any redemption for him? No. At this point, there's no redemption. But, like, Reverse Flash, I think we could do life sacrifice. I don't know what it is. Maybe there's more of a charm to Reverse Flash. But when I'm looking at Homelander, I mean, like, brother, name it. You want to talk about mass death that he's caused because he just did it, because he felt better than them. You want to talk about, like, if we were to do everything that he wanted to do, it would be the death of literally millions upon millions of people, perhaps even billions of people. And then that's what we're talking about with Homelander. There is no redemption for somebody like Homelander, but I think he's a really fun case to discuss as, like, a villain that you understand why he became it, but you understand that there's no redemption from this because it was baked into his very being. He cannot comprehend the evil that he commits because he does not see it as evil. So in that case, no redemption. The Joker from Batman. Okay, most cases of the Joker kind of have the same mental state and how, like, they view things. It's very simply, I like chaos because the order that has created everything around me hurts people. And that's, like, the best way that we could look at it. More often than not, he just thinks it's funny. And in that case, actually, in both cases, bro, you do gotta put him down. And, like, if you want to go off death in the family, okay, what he did to Barbara Gordon by paralyzing her, what he did to Jason Todd. And I know Jason Todd was later resurrected and became Red Hood or Arkham Knight, depending on what you're talking about. But, like, at the same time, like, that is a person that doesn't get to go on. I was about to say heroes that are actually kind of bad, and I was actually going to say Batman. You want to know why? Batman is not attributing really anything to fixing Gotham if he's not willing to put down the sick dog that is Joker. You are merely fueling a system that is going to self-defeat itself. When was the last time Gotham ever rehabilitated anybody? Gotham Asylum? No. Arkham Asylum. When has Arkham Asylum ever rehabilitated anybody? Just handing Joker to them over and over and over. Okay, honest question. Why hasn't Batman tried to shut down Arkham Asylum? Why has it? Like, you don't even have to be a superhero to do that. You could just be a billionaire and do that, bro. Arkham Asylum literally has not tried to do anything with any of these supervillains. At the same, like, Joker should be put down. 100%. And I'm going to be real. After everything that happened in Death of the Family, brother, I hope it hurts. No question. Dutch Vanderland. Ooh, I love Red Dead Redemption. I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is in my... It's probably in my top 15. Yeah, I'd probably put it in my top 15, mostly because of the story. I know some people are like, oh, well, the gameplay's mid. Sorry, bro, the story's amazing. You can't convince me otherwise. And I think part of it is the writing of Dutch Vanderland. Dutch Vanderland is one of those characters that's like a 1 in a million, when everything about him is nailed. The relatability. I understand where Dutch is coming from. I think it was like, it's not psychopathy, it's sociopathy. Yeah, I think he's more of a sociopath. The insane levels of narcissism that he has, to the point of delusions of grandeur that he has. The fact that he hates so much that to serve anybody in any level of power above him, that the best way that I can describe Dutch Vanderland as a character is he is a person that would rather rule in hell than serve in heaven. Now, the part where you do give him a little bit of grace is the fact that, like, the Pinkertons are evil. Like, the Pinkertons are not good people in the games, okay? And the government in Red Dead Redemption, in-game, of course, are obviously not good. So you understand where Dutch is coming from, and I think him, like, going with the Native Americans, he's not going with the Native Americans because he actually gives a fuck about their means, no. He would sell them all out to the U.S. government at the first sign of trouble. No, it's because he likes the idea of being his own master. And it's to a degree where it's not like, bro, own a business. No. He dislikes the idea of answering to anybody. I would love an origin story of Dutch Vanderland. I don't even want to play as him, but like, I want to know what caused this. What caused this part in his character to fundamentally, his brain just cannot work with somebody ever being above him. And it'll be anything. He loves the gang because the gang listens to him. He doesn't love Arthur because that's his son. Maybe there's a part of him that likes that. Maybe there's a part of it with Jack Marston. He loves them because I think he views Arthur Morgan, and I think he views John Marston as nothing more than hunting dogs. They will fetch things for him, but the moment they disobey, you put them down. And if they ever bite the hand of Dutch, well, yeah, I wouldn't be doing my job. I'm protecting the family. I have to put them down. They were bad dogs. Something like that, bro. To the point where, like, I think the only moment where he understood and actually had some level of care was that he spared Arthur and he didn't allow Micah to ice Arthur. And I think that was part of it. I think he did, at some level, love Arthur Morgan. I think that was at a level. But I think even that was... He hates the idea of serving or being basically the lapdog of anybody more than he loves the people that are basically his surrogate sons. And I think for that, if Dutch Vanderland sacrificed himself and took out Micah Bell, and he died in there, I would actually think that would be redemption. I think that would be redemption. In my opinion, no, it's the fact that he goes as far as he does, then there is no redemption. But I'm going to put him in life sacrifice. I think that's fair. Light Yagami. Now, I can already hear the argument. Light Yagami was fundamentally insane and he was corrupted by the Death Note. And, like, that's true. Like, it is. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if you ever want to see that, I think a lot of the stuff that was in Light Yagami was something that was already there and it was fostered and grown by the Death Note. Like, I don't think the Death Note changes you as a human. I think it takes whatever latent, like suppressed thoughts that you have. Like, we know that, like, Yagami was going to be a detective, and I think that part of him that these criminals need to get put down, and then it got fostered, and from, like, criminals that are committing crimes, to criminals that have ever committed a crime, to people that were ever even associated with a crime, to, it got even crazier, people that were innocent and stopped crime, but were trying to take out him. That's where I think we lost it. No. I would like to think that there was some types of, like, light Yagami that you could have helped. Like, no. Well, if you want to get my opinion on, like, the death penalty, and I think I've said this before, I am only in favor of the death penalty when we're talking about somebody that is beyond redemption. Like, no. Hot take. Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy gone. I don't like Jeffrey gone. Dahmer's gone, bro. Like, people that there is literally no way to rehabilitate them, then there isn't. Well, the prison system is not good at rehabilitating. Yeah, it isn't. Well, how about that? How about we try to make our prisons better at rehabilitating people? Instead, we are literally creating generations of repeat offenders. Like well, now we're getting deep here, but like, yeah, no, look at private prisons, dog. That shit goes wild, bro. But like, that should have been on the evil company list, dog. But like, I'm sorry, we're getting a little bit too deep into it. But at the same time, dude, like, there comes a point where I'm like, well, you're gonna serve 300 years in prison. How is that more humane? Well, I mean, like, so let me get this straight. Locking somebody in a box for 300 years, is that more humane than just done? Well, the average death penalty costs around the taxpayer $3 million. Brother, 9 millimeters, 5 cents. Okay? Like, I know I've said that before, but, like, keep it real with me, dog. Keep it real with me. Yeah, come on, are we real? I'm sorry, man. What are we doing, dude? Like, we don't have to spend $3 million. 5 cents. Anyways, but when we're talking about Light Yagami here, I understand his frame of mind, but when you start going after people that defy you because you personally feel attacked, because you're God, because you have this, then you're no better than a serial killer with a main character syndrome. In my eyes, like, that's how I view it. I think he has done some good. And I think there is a level of redemption that you could go to. But I think by the end of it, he's too far gone. By the end, there is no redemption. By the end of the journey, like, I think you could have stopped him early on, and you could have fostered him into a good path. And I think I think there was a scenario where he lived just a normal life and actually did some good. But I think at the end of it, nah, there's just no redemption, bro. He's too far gone. Palpatine! He's just evil. Bro, he is just evil. There's no question in my mind, dude. And he's like, he's evil in a sense where it's like, and here's the thing, dog. The Jedi, maybe I will do. What do you think guys think about that? Heroes that are actually the villains, or heroes that are kind of villains. I think the Jedi are in there. I think the idea that the Jedi Order was like, let me get this straight. A separatist group wants to break away from the Republic because of a trade disagreement, and you guys are get a mysterious level of funding and get the clones to fight a war with them over a trade disagreement. However, slavery in the Outer Rim's okay. There's no wars over that. Are you serious right now, bro? Like, there's no wars on Tatooine over, like, the open slave trades that they have? Really? Okay, like, that's where I'm like, the Jedi were not that good. They just weren't. But that's not even a hot take anymore. Palpatine's just significantly worse. Like, he just is. Like, no, we saw, like, Palpatine doesn't give a shit about the slave trades. Like, he doesn't. Like, not at all. In fact, like, more for Palpatine, it's like a pursuit of power. And I think at that point, bro, like, I hope it hurts, dog. Like, there's no, like, in my mind, there is no question. Yeah. There's just no redemption for you, man. Like, there just isn't. Darth Vader. I 100% see where he's coming from. And I'm gonna be real here. Part of the reason he is on here is because I wanted somebody to be at the bottom of the tier, because I try to fill up all the tiers here. Yeah, no, I understand why he rebelled, but, like, ultimately, the tragic part of Anakin's character is not that he's, like, an evil guy. No, he did a lot of evil things, bro. Youngling Slayer 6000 over here, bro. Absolutely packing bodies. Bro, it's insane. Okay? But I understand why he rebelled, and I think it's like, why are you surprised he did? Do you know what I love? I forget what it was, but, like, I saw this clip of this guy talking about, like, growing up watching the prequels and then watching the Clone Wars really makes you think to yourself, bro, Anakin had every right to be like, what do you mean I'm not a master? What do you mean? I am the most decorated general in the Clone Wars, if not more than you. And then you got Ki-Adi-Mundi. Well, you will not be. You are not master. Shut up, hot dog face. What are you doing? What do you mean, bro? Your clones hate you. I have more decorated in 1 year of my life than you in the entirety of the Clone Wars. I have saved 3 of y'all's lives, okay? Name it. I literally slayed the personification of the dark and light side of the Force. I met the Father. What's his? I don't even know. Did he meet God? Did Anakin Skywalker meet God in the Clone Wars? Like, this is where my Star Wars lore is a little bit weird, but, like, brother, 100% make him a master. Well, he hasn't reached senior level. What do you mean? What do you mean he didn't? What do you mean? He saved. Can you not make Yoda over here? You are getting too emotional, you are. What do you mean? What do you mean? That would be me, bro. 100%. What do you mean, Yoda? You are not old enough, you are. I'm sorry, I'm not 400 years old. You, I don't know. You hairless gremlin of a ting, man. What do you want me to say? Dude, for insane. I have saved half of y'all's lives over and over again. Obi-Wan, back a brother up. That's really what I would say, bro. No, Clone Wars makes you think to yourself, bro, no, Anakin 100% deserved to be a master. I don't understand how they, were actually serious about that. And then in terms of, overthrowing the Jedi Order, again, slavery in the Outer Rim, they didn't allow him to save his mom. The worst part about it is he allowed Palpatine to kind of more or less guide him into the right path. And I am going to say this because the sequels do fuck up stuff, okay? The sequels did ruin something for me. I need a power to save Padme. No force healing we have! It's literally a thing! Rey learned how to do it from a worm! What do you mean? The one power that I need to save Padme, it's just lost knowledge? Don't know how to do it, I do! I'm tweaking, dude! No, I get his point. 100% I get his point. Wrong way of practicing it. Next, Marika the Eternal from Elden Ring. Ooh, some of y'all are surprised I chose Marika. Or if you've watched my lore video, you're not, okay? This is the test. No, Marika is just bad. Understand this. Is she, evil? I wouldn't say that. I think that she is a fundamentally flawed character and a terrible mother, which is kind of funny. That's Mother Marika. That's her defining thing. When she is a hilariously bad mom. The only son she actually cared about was Godwyn, and then the moment Godwyn got iced, she destroyed the Elden Ring. And to give you an idea of what a high level of crass out this is like stubbing your toe and then finding the person who created the table that you stubbed it on and hacking his entire family up with an axe. That is what level of overreaction this is. Well, he can't come back. Ronnie literally killed his soul. His soul is... You cannot get more dead than Godwyn is. But he's technically not dead, which is kind of funny if you think about it. Okay? Literally every other son. Mesmer the Impaler was her... Mesmer loved his mom. Loved his mom. And Marika understood that. So she used her, the love that Mesmer had for her firstborn son, by the way, and then locked him in a pocket dimension in the Shadow Realm where he could... Yeah, no. Marika's such a bad person, dude. Marika's bad. Is there any redemption for Marika? Maybe. I would probably put life sacrifice. I do think this. If Marika, got to a point where she, gave up her life for, Mogan Morgott, and Mogan Morgott are, her, children from the Golden Lineage that had disabilities, so she tried to murk them at birth, and then banished Godfrey, the baby daddy, and then got one good kid out of that being Godwyn, and then that was their favorite, and then all the other ones were locked up in the sewer for the rest of their lives. Yeah, no, she's just bad. She's so bad, dude. I know they want to make it into a movie, and I think that'd be pretty fun to see just how bad Marika was as a mom, dude. She's so bad. Life sacrifice for Mogan Morgott, and I would actually consider it. Micah Bell. Micah Bell's just a rat, dog. And I know it's become a running joke that every single time I bring up Micah Bell, the next thing that I say is, he's just a rat. At the same, bro, I know, Dutch is bad. Don't get me wrong, Dutch is bad. But at least Dutch has principles that, I could see where he's coming from. Micah Bell is just a bad person. He's just a bad person, dude. And, he's just bad for the sake of... It's not even survival. It's I gotta get what I deserve in life. Brother, you deserve prison. Honestly, dog, you just deserve prison, bro. I hope it hurts, too, bro. I hope that shit hurts, dude. Micah... Everybody... all the homies hate Micah Bell, dude. Next. Sauron. Basically the devil. Just basically the devil. Now, I know there's more... I know there's an actual devil equivalent inside of the Lord of the Rings verse, and my Lord of the Rings lore is semi-rusty. But then when we're looking at, Sauron, I mean, he came to Earth, he tempted man with craftsmanship, okay? And then taught them how to make rings that would manipulate them into falling under dominion to him. He hated the dwarves because dwarves were kind of difficult to corrupt. Men were one of the easiest to corrupt. Elves were the ones that he wanted. And then he started a war that nearly ended with him having everything. And then he got his finger cut off and then kept on doing it. He's like, I understand that he's not the actual embodiment of evil, but he's like evil's #1 guy. Like the actual dude, like Morgoth, okay? You got Morgoth, the literal devil of the verse. He's like, well, if I can't do it, my homie Sauron can. I'm sorry, bro. If the devil's #1 guy, the devil's #1 guy. Like that like there's no level of redemption here. I just hate Micah Bell more, so for the meme, I'm gonna put Sauron and no redemption, and I think that's kind of funny. And there you go. Those are some of the most irredeemable characters in fiction. I know I left out a few, mostly because if you guys want to see this, I can rank Am from I Have No Mouth But I Must Scream, and a few other characters that would go pretty hard. But I just got done reading the Eclipse from Berserk, and my soul hurts, and I need to rant about that. That's why the Griffith portion of this video was significantly longer than the other. And yeah, that's basically what happened. If this video was entertaining you, please like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 250,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and 500,000 subscribers before the release of GTA 6. We're on track to do it with the support of you guys. 6 videos a week on the channel is what we're going for, and I have not missed in the past 2 weeks. And yeah, you gotta start somewhere. 2 weeks of 6 uploads a week, that's not bad, okay? And with all that out of the way, I hope to see you in the next video, and I am thankful that you even watched this video. Adios.